You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure. It's time for Tom Reid's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You could win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reid's Hockey City Pub or Wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reid's Hotline.
Well, as mentioned, it's getting interesting at Climate Pledge Arena. Wild clinging to a 4-3 lead over the Crack. And, Tom, what's happened to that comfy lead the Wild were enjoying?
Well, it's getting interesting, but not in a fun way right now for Minnesota, Kevin. I mean, giving up those after having a 4-1 lead, giving up 2 goals, one at 19:48 of the second period, does not sit well with the team, obviously. And I'm not even talking about the coaching staff being upset. I'm sure the players are upset with that. So they got to find a way to come out with a good start in the third period. Hopefully get some they don't need more goals, but they don't want to give up any more goals, obviously. So Minnesota needs to do something if they're going to win this hockey game.
Lots of folks texted in about your first intermission conversation with Mr. Lou Nanne. He says it's like being a fly on the wall, listening to those stories. It's really cool. Everybody, nice, blah, blah, blah about Tom and Lou. Also, this one, what was it like playing with Lou Nanne? I've asked you that before. I think before I asked you about describing Louie as a player, what was it like to have him as a teammate?
It was great. It really was. I mean, he was very aggressive, obviously, and that set well. I mean, he had a little more offensive ability than I did. So I was kind of be the guy back there playing the defensive part of the game, and he would be playing both parts, but mostly in the offense. And a number of times, I remember one time we were playing in Pittsburgh. He went to do a toe drag around a guy by the name of Dennis Outshower, which is a perfect name for a defenseman who likes to hit. But Louis got outs on that one, hit him right in the jaw, and put him down. And he hit his head on the ice. I think he got some stitches on there, but he said the only thing he remembers is me standing above him saying, "Louis, before you go, can I have your condo in Florida?" And that was the only thing that came out of that. But he was, and Louis, I mean, you talk about a guy who gives you 100% every time he stepped on the ice, and that's exactly what he did. And he does that in business also. He knows what he wants, and he goes after it. And like he said, he never looks back. He makes a decision, you go with it, you never look back.
From the 612 area code about Climate Pledge Arena, how does it compare to some of the other ones that you enjoy? He assumes that it's probably up there towards the top, being it's the newest.
Yeah, it is really a beautiful building. And, they were able to save the roof from the 61 World Fair. That's the only thing they had to keep here, and they had to raise that thing up and keep it in check, and then dig down. I mean, they had to dig down. And when I was at the Sphere yesterday, up on top and looking down, and all you see was this big roof. But you come into the building, and it's massive inside here. What's interesting also, Kevin, there's not one gas line that comes into this building. Everything is run by electricity. And I thought that was pretty interesting also. They've done a great job. And, of course, Todd Leiweke, a CEO here, who was our president with the Minnesota Wild back in the year 2000. Jack Sperling was there at that time, and Doug Riseborough and Jacques Lemaire and so on. But he's in charge of this building out here. It's just a massive, beautiful building.
From Tabor, I think is how it's pronounced, in Cottage Grove. Tom, by the time when this game is over, the next time the Wild are on the ice, it'll be after the trade deadline. Friday afternoon, the NHL trade deadline will come and go. Do you expect the Wild to make any more maneuvers after they've already added Hinostroza and now Nyquist? You think anything else is waiting in the weeds there for Bill Guerin?
Well, I think if something were to come around that Bill thought was good for the club, he would do it. But right now, I think he's kind of sitting pat here and seeing what was happening. We expect there's going to be quite a bit that's going to take place. And of course, Bill Guerin has all of his scouts, his pro scouts, and, the people in the office part of things for him out here. They'll be handling those phones, obviously, and listening what's going on virtually on the 7th of this month. And the deadline is 2 p.m. On that day here in Central Time. So you never say never. No, I'm not going to do a deal. But if something else all of a sudden pops up, you may look at it and say, well, maybe we can do that. So anything Bill is going to do and his staff, they're going to do it to make this a better team.
From the 612 area code, Tom, with all this travel that you guys do from one end of the country to the other, do you ever get jet lag? Is that still an issue for you, even at this point in your career where you've done it for years and years and years?
No, it really has not bothered me. It bothered me a lot when we went over to Europe to play a couple of series over there. If you remember, in Finland and Sweden, that really bothered me, the jet lag. But fortunately, we're in the center of the country also, so we're right in the middle. So going back and forth isn't that much of a deal for us. I know that some of the players say it used to bother them quite a bit, and of course, if you went to Denver, then the oxygen levels were less, and they had to have oxygen in the bench. I never experienced anything like that, but no, it really does not bother me. I try and get as much rest as I can. Even on a day of a game, I'll try and get at least an hour of sleep in the afternoon to get ready for the game.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom Reid with Tom Reid's Hotline. We got a random pair of tickets going out to someone that got their question on the air. Congratulations. You're going to see the Wild and Penguins Sunday afternoon in St. Paul as the Wild drop the puck on a lengthy homestand. Lots of opportunities in the month of March to come see the Wild in St. Paul. Get your tickets now at wild.com/hockey tickets. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy. Wild under siege in that second period. As mentioned, at one point they led this hockey game 4-1 on goals by Hinostroza, Spurgeon, Goudreau, and Zuccarello. But those pesky Kraken won't go away, right? And Montour scored late in the middle frame, pulled within one of the Wild. Wild outshot 17-9 in the second period, 26-18 now through 40 minutes. That means 23 saves thus far for Philip Gustafsson. The Wild 1 for 1 on the power play. The Kraken are 1 for 2. Wild lead the Kraken 4-3. We're going to an exciting third period from Climate Pledge Arena next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.